What if I told you that some of the most gifted students in our classrooms aren't struggling because they lack ability, but because their talent has never truly been understood? What if the same way we support students with traditional needs, we recognized that artistic brilliance is a need all its own? Today, we step into a story that reshaped an entire school district, changed how educators teach, and created a home for students right here at Rawlings Middle School of the Arts. This is about vision. This is about legacy. This is about building something that didn't exist before. Let's dive in. Mr. Barnfield, thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for joining me on the Watchmen Podcast. I'm incredibly excited to talk to you. Your vision of Rawlings Middle School of the Arts, from where it was to where it is today. You're such a pillar in Dorchester District Two, and I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Well, I'm excited to be here because this is a subject I can talk about forever.
Forever. But what I want to do is I kind of want to take it back to the beginning, okay, and then we'll talk through. What first drew you both to music and visual arts?
My parents drew me to music because my mother wanted a church musician in the family. And so I had an older brother and an older sister. She started with them, but she had honed her skills when she got to me. And so there was no doubt that I was going to go to college as a music major for them, and a visual art major for me.
When did you realize this wasn't just a passion? It was a calling.
My first teaching after college, I taught music for 2 years. And for me, those weren't very satisfying years, the 2 years. So I switched after 2 years to visual art, high school visual art. And that's when it became a passion, because students were getting engaged, they were creating wonderful stuff, and I had the joy of just being with them while they did it.
Right.
And it wasn't so much teaching as it was guiding. And that's when the passion really became, for me, that this work, particularly cultural literacy, which I was including in everything that I did, was a true necessity.
Right.
I felt very strongly that if you have an arts background, you have an art history background, just if you're culturally literate, you have a much better understanding of the world.
Right.
And of other groups, other cultures,
right,
and other ethnicities.
You spent your career working with exceptional students.
I did.
How did that shape your belief that art is more than just a subject, but a necessity?
I always believed it was a necessity. In the years that I did teach music, I never really stopped because I continued to teach piano privately. And of course, I am a major consumer of music and visual art. So what I kept trying to tell everybody that I could is that in order for you to be full to be a whole person, thinking person, you have got to understand the process of creativity. And that's where it starts for everybody.
Right.
You have to be creative. You have to not go with the norm. And for me, it was, for me in teaching, music and visual art. And then, of course, I worked with art therapy for a long time. It wasn't about the product. It wasn't about the concert. It was about the process. It wasn't about the exhibit. It was about the process that students made to get there.
You've made a powerful statement that artistically gifted students are special needs students.
Yes, I did.
Break that down for us. What does that really mean?
What that really means is that you have students who have special talents in math and science, social studies, language arts. They get a special education taught by teachers who have been taught and to go to teach specifically their subject as a gifted subject. That's no different for artistically gifted. Their gift is there, and sometimes it makes them quirky.
Right.
Through that whole process. And so they are special needs students because they need special learning.
Right.
Unfortunately, we have not, the state requires teachers, gifted teachers in the other content areas to have training, and they have to be get on their certificate, they have to be endorsed. They don't do that for the artistically gifted. I've tried to correct that. In 2012, I created the Nature and Needs of the Artistically Gifted, and then a follow-up course, curriculum instruction for the artistically gifted. The State Department of Education, South Carolina State Department of Education, financed it, and so we've been doing it ever since.
And that was in 2012.
That was in 2012 when I first started it. Now, after lots of people have gone through the course, both courses, the state is considering putting it as an endorsement on specifically for teaching the artistically gifted and talented.
I can, walking through the halls here at Rollins, and one of the things is just not about showcasing our youth. It's showcasing the talent that's teaching our youth here at Rollins Middle School of Arts. And some of the talent here is incredible. Just to sit back and to speak to some of the teachers at maybe strings, vocal, dance, it's a wow factor. And me coming to Rollins this year as the first year as an SRO has completely wowed me. And sometimes, it's the wow factor.
Yeah.
So getting this wow factor, it's like I want to deep dive. I want to get to the meat and potatoes. But what happens to artistically gifted students when their needs are not recognized?
That's a very difficult thing to do. When Rollins was formed in 1997, I'm sorry, 1967. In 1967, I wrote all of the audition protocols.
Wow.
So I have revised those, I don't know how many times, since we chose the first group of students. It is very difficult to determine who has the artistic ability that is beyond their age. And that's what I kept looking for. When I first began looking at what audition processes we would have, I'll give you an example. I went into, then we were doing third graders. Rawlings started as a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 7th school.
Did I know that?
Yeah, it started with 4th. And the first year they went 4th through 7 with the concept that 7 would go 8, so it would be a 4 through 8 school. So I went, and we were starting with third graders. So I went into third grade classrooms, and I gave them, I'm going to use visual art because it was the easiest to do. I gave them all a project to do, an art project. Had them all do the same thing. And then I took the teachers and myself, and we laid those all out on the floor and divided them into, this is the top, this is near the bottom, so that we could get a range of abilities. And that's how I began to create those audition processes.
So going back to the audition process with visual arts, how was that, I don't know if the grading scale is the right word, but when kids come in to audition and they're here for visual arts, how was that scale broken down? Like, how were y'all grading?
Well, there is a rubric, and on that rubric, it specifies the use of texture, the use of shadow, the use of, Now, let me back up. When I first wrote them for visual art, we asked the students to bring in previous work from home or from school. And so they brought in a portfolio. And I always, and they still do today, they use outside, don't use any Dorchester 2 adjudicators.
Okay.
And I started that because I didn't want any of current teachers knowing a student's work. So when we began that, we did, and the teachers helped me. We did it as a joint project. We wrote rubrics that was scored, had numbers on it, for visual art, music, dance, theater, creative writing. We did not add piano until sometime later.
Okay.
After that first year, we dropped the 4th grade. Of course, the 5th graders went on to be 6th graders. And so we did not audition new 6th graders that year. And the reason that the 4th grade was dropped was because elementary principals were very upset that they thought that Rawlings was taking the best students out of their schools.
Well, I have to, I can only speak for Rawlings, and maybe because I spend every day here, many, many hours a day, and this is a very special place.
It is a special place.
And I'm going to tell you, we have the best of the best, and that's with teachers, that's with our youth, and I'm going to get off task here. One of the things with the podcast is I want our students in DD2 that may be artistically gifted, whatever it may be, music, visual arts, dance, reach for the stars. Try out, audition. Even if you don't get in, audition and keep trying. This place is special.
Yes.
And our youth that is here are just incredible. I walk through the halls and vocals, and I'll stand in the halls and just listen and get lost. Band, strings. You know, and I'm gonna, we'll get back on task here, but in December, I had Mr. Joseph Pye on the podcast. What an incredible man.
Right.
What an incredible man. And to hear his story, his leadership, vision. But at his memorial service, students from Rawlings Middle School of the Arts was asked to perform. And I am going to tell you, if I did not know the backstory and know that those were students from Rawlings Middle School of the Arts, past and present, I would have argued with you. Incredible.
Yeah.
You could have heard a pin drop. And I sat there and I said, we have the best of the best at Rawlings Middle School of the Arts. So with that being said, that has to thank you for having a vision way back when.
I want to say something about Mr. Pye. He started as superintendent the same year I started as director of fine and performing arts. He never questioned me about the benefit of the arts. He would say to other district office people when they might say something about, for example, I totally changed the schedule in elementary because it was a 1 day a week visual art music, and that was it. And then the other day was PE, library, and computers. And I changed it so that they had 5 days in a row of music, 5 days in a row of art, 5 days in a row of PE. And then that repeated. That took them from getting those subjects 32 days a year to 60 days a year.
Wow.
So it totally upped. Now, when we first started, principals were not happy because they didn't think they would ever keep it straight. And Mr. Pye would say to them, well, Larry's going to do it, so you might as well just get used to it.
And I can, you two were a powerhouse. I could already tell. And that was one thing about Mr. Pye. Mr. Pye put people in places and in positions to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, Rawlings Middle School of the Arts is at the next level.
Yes.
I'm so grateful and humbled to be part of this school every day. I am, sometimes it's pinch me. Like, is this even real? You know, but to be part of such an amazing, well, I can go on and on and on. Walk us through the moment you realized we needed something different and we needed to be bigger.
I'm not sure that I consciously realized it. I just knew that when I went into the schools, in every school and in almost every grade, I could see a student, when I went to their arts classes, I could see a student who needed more than what was happening in the general classroom. And at the time, the superintendent was a former band director. when Rawlings was formed in '67. And he was an easy sell because he believed also. And another factor, of course, was seeing that Charleston County had a School of the Arts. And I was not going to let Charleston County have one and Dorchester School not have one.
Right. I get it. I get it.
So I just started pitching it and had good support. Nancy Carter was very supportive, and she was in the district office at that time also. And so she and I were the ones who really got together and got things going. So,
what makes Rawlings Middle School of the Arts so special? Not just in DD2, but beyond.
It makes it special because it gives students a broader education than they could get anyplace else in middle school. They get the intensive arts, but that flows over into all their other subjects. And so no subject stands alone.
Right.
They all are compatible in some way. And you can take something that you're doing in science and turn it into art. Any subject can do that. And I think that's why it's so important that we recognize that the arts are an academic course.
Yes, I would have to agree. I would have to agree.
And you have to teach them like an academic course. They're not entertainment, per se. They are a part of learning.
Right.
And so often, school districts start the arts as enrichment. And I'm totally against that whole concept of the arts as enrichment. Yes, they enrich our lives,
Right.
but they are something to be learned.
Correct. I got to ask you about Rawlings. You said 1967. When you walked through those front doors this morning, what did you feel was built?
I am so proud of this building. Of course, I worked on getting it built, and I worked with the architect. I got most of what I had on my get list. I didn't get the number of seats in this auditorium that I wanted.
And this is a special place too.
And it is a special place. And I'm not grumbling about the 1,000 seats, although I wanted at least 1,200 up to 1,500. But I didn't get it.
So I'm going to tell you, so we'll get there because we'll just line them up against the walls. No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, things I did get that were not in the original plans, I got 2 dance studios. The architect said, I don't have room for 2 dance studios. And I said, well, create room. It's not built yet.
Right.
You've got the plans. Plan 2 dance studios. And the reason I wanted 2 dance studios is because before that, we could only take 18 dancers a year because of the size of the dance studio. And when they held out their arms, they ran into each other. So I wanted 2 so I could up the number of dancers that we could audition and take. So I got that. I got a special strings room where they could handle equipment. It was so when I come in, I'm just so proud of all of the things that we did get.
Palmetto's finest.
Palmetto's finest.
That's a big one. Tell us about the graduate programs you've developed.
Well, the two that I have developed and have taught until last year, I have been teaching them. They're summer program institutes for teachers, for arts teachers. And I'm a little bit sad, but I determined that it needed sustainability, so I needed to step away. The nature needs of the artistically gifted will be taught this summer, but I'm not doing it. It'll be the first time I have not done it since 2012. But what we do in that course is we bring the arts teachers in, and I've always done it here at Rawlings or at the Governor's School in Greenville, where the students that they can observe have all been identified as gifted by some means. So what we do is we give them a list of personality traits that they observe and document. And the reason that's important is because artistically gifted students very often, and almost always, behave in a different way. And you don't really correct that behavior unless it's, violating some rule or, dangerous or whatever, because that's just who they are.
Right.
It's their personality.
You have received some of the highest honors in arts education across the country. What do those recognitions mean to you personally?
They don't mean very much to me personally. What they did was for students, because by that recognition, I became more known nationally and got more grant money.
Right. So it opened the doors.
It opened the doors to, I got those 2 4-year federal grants, and that's pretty unheard of for someone to get more than one,
With some of those honors, I think there's a program or something that you host, and I may not have it right. Is it called STARS? Talk about STARS.
STARS was a program that I started 18 years ago with Spoleto. At the time, Ellen Dressler was the director of cultural affairs for the city of Charleston. And I went to her and said, Ellen, the Spoleto catalog and Piccolo Spoleto, its companion, there is really nothing showcasing youth. And so she said, well, no, there isn't. But if you want to do it, go for it. And so I started Rising Stars for 9th through 18-year-olds, but they couldn't be in college. And we auditioned them. They applied from over the Southeast. We included more than South Carolina. And then during Spoleto, I did 6 programs presenting these young people. And let me tell you, they were so inspiring.
I can only imagine.
prodigies, and we did all the art forms, not just, we did visual, all of them, including creative writing. We've had students that have been on Rising Stars go on to major careers and well known. Our biggest success, I guess, would be the harpist Abby Kent. And when she got out of high school, she went to London and was enrolled on the spot at the London Conservatory of Music.
Wow.
She spent a year there. She came back and went to Curtis, which is the number one, really, conservatory in the country. But then after Curtis, which she graduated from, she won the national harp competition, and they sent her, the Harp Association sent her around the world doing concerts. She came back, she went to Juilliard, got her master's, then she got her doctorate from Juilliard. And you know, it just thrills me. And there are more like that, I mean, that have gone on to the major conservatories or the major art schools. I can think of
And I'm speaking of the Juilliard, the individual I just had on the podcast, which is our vocal teacher here, studied at the Juilliard. And he's one of our teachers here, Mr. Jamie Hawkins.
Isn't that great?
Incredible. Like, it's 52 years old, and I come to work every day to learn and get wowed. I was in band when I was in school, in middle school. But at the time that I was in middle school, we didn't have programs.
No.
Like that's given to, and I'm from South Florida. I'm from Miami, or Fort Lauderdale area. We didn't have the programs like, we had magnet schools and we had other, I don't want to say special schools, but schools for kids that were a little bit more advanced than somebody like me. Mm-hmm. I can only imagine if we had what we have today, if we had it then, where some people may be in life. But in your opinion, how does investing in the arts help prevent negative outcomes for our youth?
Because they get so involved. You know, one of the federal grants that I got, it was the one for $1.7 million. It was for 4 years. And basically what I did, I took one of the other middle schools and put the Rawlings program in. So through the grant, I was able to hire theater, strings, dance teachers, which they had band and choral music. That was an art. They were on what was called the exploratory system, where students didn't choose, they were just assigned where to go. And they changed generally about every 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. They would go to a different area. My whole thing about that was, you do not get engaged in an arts area until you study it in depth, and you have it more than 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did. The students then, I created a form. The students in 5th grade chose, it wasn't an audition, they self-selected what art form they wanted to be in. And I explained to them, because I did it with every elementary 5th grade class. I explained to them that that their choice better be sincere, because that's going to where they were going to be for the next 3 years.
Right.
And what happened with that, when we did the data, attendance went up, way up. Absenteeism, tardy went down. They wanted to get to that arts program. Math scores went up. English language arts scores went up. For me, that was proof that if you give kids the opportunity to have in-depth arts experiences, it changes how they behave.
And I am a firm believer that engagement with our youth is the cornerstone of our collective success.
Yes, I agree with you.
What would you say to communities or school districts that still see the arts as extra instead of essential?
That's a matter of education that I've tried to do. I have spoken to groups of superintendents. I've spoken to community groups who are thinking about or wondering, why have a magnet school just of the arts? And what I have to keep telling them is, look at the data for the schools that are.
Right.
Just look at their data.
Right.
They can show you.
I know this school can.
Absolutely. So can Charleston School of the Arts. They can show you that they're top school, one of the top schools in the state, just like Rawlings.
Right.
So that was what I kept trying. I would show them data. This is where they came in. This is how their grades were. Now look at them.
Right.
So it's just a matter of education.
Right. If you could speak directly to a student at Rawlings right now, what would you tell them about their gift?
I would, first of all, tell them how lucky they are to be here.
Right.
But
right, because there's people waiting, wanting to be here.
Exactly. That was always when I did the auditions, after we sent out the letters of acceptance. I scheduled time for any parent who did not get in to come in and talk to me. And I would pull out their score sheets, and I would explain to them, this is why he did not get in. This is, this other child scored above him, so we can, we can only take 36 in dance, and so that was the cutoff line. Because I know it was hard.
It's got to be difficult.
Parents wanted their kids here.
Right. I think sometimes the parents are more excited of the kids coming to Rawlings, their children coming to Rawlings, than the children are. The children are sometimes.
You're absolutely right.
I see it.
Yeah. When we first started the auditions, we had an interview process. And when we would interview the kids and say, why do you want to go to Rawlings? They would kind of look at me and say, because my parents want me to go there.
And I can tell you, coming here, working some of the auditions for Rawlings, even Gateway and Pathways, when they're coming through their auditions, and to see these young individuals come in and dress like on their Sunday's best,
Yeah.
like it's impressive, because you sit back and you say, it starts at the home front too.
Yeah.
But to see these young men and young ladies come through the door, dressed to the T, what do they always say? The first impression's the last impression.
Yeah.
And I may not get it on the piece of music that I'm playing, but you're going to look at me and you're going to remember who I am.
Yeah.
And for the educators that's listening, or that will be listening, what responsibility do we have when we recognize greatness in a student?
You, of course, need to encourage it. In the research that I did with the teachers in the nature and needs of the artistically gifted, we learned that for the artistically gifted, there are really 4 categories. the talented, the gifted, the prodigy, and there is a level 4. We don't call it genius, but that could be where genius would go.
Wow.
So each one of those 4 needed to be taught differently. For example, the talented child is generally just a high achiever who wants to do everything right, wants to follow every direction, always wants to know, is it good enough? Am I doing okay? Whereas the prodigy, you just don't really teach, you guide.
Right.
And they may not even, they may argue with you about what's going on. The talented will never argue with you.
Is there anything that you would like to say to the community or to the students
Thank you.
that may be listening?
Thank you. Thank you for maintaining it, maintaining Rawlings, supporting the students, and making it so vital for the whole community.
Mr. Barnfield, thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to sit down.
Delight. It's a delight.
And to hear your story and to share your story. And I want to personally say thank you. Thank you for having that vision and seeing something special and being part of something that is so big on what we have today. So thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
What we heard today wasn't just about the arts. It was about recognizing greatness before the world ever sees it. It's about creating opportunity where none existed and giving students a place to discover who they truly are. Right here in Dorchester District 2. That vision lives on inside the halls of Rawlings Middle School of the Arts. Because when we invest in our youth, we don't just shape artists, we shape futures. And remember, engagement with our youth is the cornerstone of our collective success. This is the Watchmen Podcast. Stay tuned, because the next story might just change everything. So until next time, take care.